Welcome to Carter's Retro Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing... Fuck, I forgot words. Oh, what is wrong with me? Welcome to Carter's Retro Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing Whizz for the Sega Saturn. I guess they call it Whizz because maybe they're taking the piss. But seriously, for those that don't know, I think it's an Australian thing. Taking the piss just means like making fun of someone, to rip on them, that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm out. Peace. I've been putting off this review for some time now, not because I practically have one level of captured gameplay. No. It's just that when you play a game that's timeless, it's easy to see why it was so ragingly popular. Something that has aged well will score big with the reviewers. Then you play something like Whizz, which might have been pretty good in its time, but it rubs you the wrong way now. And for this reason, it's really hard to review. It's usually made worse by people going, I remember this game. I love this game. I don't have the nostalgia for this game. I do sometimes think to myself that I wish the 90s would have lived on and platformers reigned supreme today. But then you play a ho-hum platformer like Whizz and think, fair enough. Then you see what goes for popular these days and you think that platformers like this weren't so bad after all. It was released on the Super Nintendo and was meant to have a Mega Drive/Genesis port, but was cancelled in favour of a Saturn port. And the thing is, this could have easily been on the Mega Drive. What is even worse is that it's not even a great game by Mega Drive standards. That console had some of the best platforming of not just its generation, but the 90s as a whole. By comparison, this game would have been lost in the Mega Drive library. The only reason it gets any light on the Saturn is just how few games it got. And to add another red flag, it was only released in Japan and the PAL regions. It didn't get a US release. Were Americans sick of platformers? Probably. So prop yourself a pillow while I try not to bore you. The menu screen is kind of nice actually. Calm, pleasant, and if it was a ride at a fun park, you can bet your left nutter to be non-threatening and family friendly. Don't expect any kind of real thrill here. The pastels both in the menu and in-game are really bland and lifeless, but totally set the mood for the rest of the game. I mean, for their time. These days, if a game came out and it's not an array of browns and greys, usually in the form of an FPS, it's considered bright and exciting. The position of everything on screen is where it should be, but this whole game is about being safe and not taking chances. Predictable. The graphics aren't bad for what it is. The detailing is alright, the colours are alright, I guess, and the animation is fine. It's pretty clear after playing games like Clockwork Knight that a game like this didn't need to be on the Saturn, nor should it. If I thought Clockwork Knight was a run-of-the-mill, by-the-numbers platformer, then this is somehow a better example and a worse game by comparison. I'm pretty sure people were getting sick of platformers by now, and if they weren't, this wasn't winning fans. If nothing else, it's made me have a whole new appreciation for Clockwork Knight. Sound is safe. It won't rock you like Robert Tepper's No Easy Way Out. It won't create any kind of mood. It fails to create any kind of atmosphere. It will just continue to be there so you don't have to listen to your own thoughts while playing this game, which will usually be something along the lines of, what am I doing with my life? However, I did try and put myself in the mood for the 90s by watching old Nickelodeon cartoons, looking at pictures of Pog, listening to Popular by Nada Surf, Seether by Veruca Salt, Jessie by Paw, the whole first album by the Presidents of the United States of America, and eating diabetes-inducing cereal. The wave of nostalgia was strong, and even though I could see probably liking it back then, still nothing. The game should be called Jump and Spin Bunny. Maybe it's called Whizz because they're taking the piss. Yeah, I know I said that joke before. The game doesn't grow like many other platformers like it. With Mega Man, you can see he gets new abilities, and while he's not the most charismatic of any character in a video game, he looks cool and he shoots cool shit. And if it's not that, the levels in Mega Man are challenging in a positive way. The levels do get harder in this game, but who cares? When you progress through the levels, they look like they've just been reskinned and enemies now require an additional attack or jump. The enemies are probably placed in a well thought out spot, but the environment is not conducive to putting any real emphasis on it. Not at any point did I go, "Ah, snap! I see what you did there, Whizz." You just aimlessly run around until you beat the level, rinse and repeat. You race against a clock as well, and there's secret areas like you would find in nearly every platforming game ever. The time was actually more of a hindrance as there wasn't enough time to really stretch my legs and find new locations. Everything is always in a mad panic, and God forbid, if you're going the wrong way or you're on a path that simply joins back up to where you were, there is a reason why a game like this will continue to live in obscurity. It's just inferior in a lot of ways, and don't get me wrong either, it's not a bad game. It's just extremely tame and offers nothing that plenty of other games in the genre do far better. It controls well, but for some reason, every other element goes out of its way to make that seem unimportant. And this is something worth noting because I've played very few games where the controls were actually quite good, but so many other elements hold this game back. Our protagonist lacks any kind of personality, and if it ever did, it feels like it was a comedian put in a poorly written movie which killed any kind of career they thought they were going to have, like Chris Kattan when he was in that almost laughless Corky Romano movie.
You are. Yes, you are. Okay. Hold on. Put that down. Put it down. Put it down. Come on. Give me the coke. Give me the cocaine. Come on. Come on. Come on. Let go. Let go.
Replayability is pretty poor. It's a one player with one mode. That's it. Would I recommend this game? As a platform enthusiast, I would have about 3 to 4 years before this actual release. By 1997, I probably wouldn't have given this game the time of day. At the time, I remember vividly being right into real-time strategy games for PC, just about anything Sega PC, and whatever Nintendo were doing with their console. I still wouldn't have played it today if I wasn't reviewing it. I wouldn't have even bothered owning Whizz if I wasn't trying for a Sega Saturn collection, as it has absolutely nothing that plenty of other platformers already have. I have so many better games, and you probably do too. If you like what you see, then give it a shot, by all means. For me, it looks alright, but the gameplay tasted like cardboard or stale popcorn. It also reaches anywhere between $40 to $90, which is not even close to what I paid, and would pay again for this game. If you value your time, I'd probably sit this one out.